Closer?
Yeah,
oh, it's okay. Do they record when it's there? Yeah, who cares?
Anyway. Jurgen, good morning. I know an awful lot is said after the sort of defeat you had against Real Madrid on Tuesday about how you react. Is it a case now of working on specifics, or is it more about lifting morale and confidence, and how do you go about that? Do you watch the game back immediately with the players?
With the play? No. We have, yes, of course we watch it back, and but not the whole game together with the players. That's no time for that really. No. Same with training, so it's not that you can work now on a lot of stuff in between Wednesday and Saturday game. That's not possible. But anyhow, we are obviously using the information from the game. It's clear. So, but we have to understand 100%, and I've said it now plenty of times, I don't read a lot anyway, but when you lose a game like this, it makes absolutely no sense to read or listen to people who are talking about us. But I know 100% how the reflex is. And conceding 5 in a home game in the Champions League is absolutely not acceptable. I know that, but it happened anyway, so we cannot change that anymore. The way we conceded the goals, we can change, not for that game, but in general, and we have to. But the start of the game was a good one anyway. It was good, and it was not only 20 minutes. I know after then we conceded, but it was the first half was a really good half. Could score another goal, maybe should have scored in that situation, and then the second half had the worst start for us. So what you can see, what I saw in this game is that yes, a lot of things are back, but not stable yet. So that's pretty much what you can make of it. That's why we then conceded the goals. You are 3-2 down, and it's clear you want a result for the next game, and a 3-2 is not a perfect. When you lose 3-2, it's not a perfect result, but it's much better than 5-2. And so, it was a night which was not really helpful, but still we have to work with it, and that's what we did. And so now we are here and prepared for 2 days already, and today again the game against Crystal Palace, and hopefully can learn the right things and use the right things and get some points.
Yeah, it's going to be a difficult task, isn't it, to make further progress in the Champions League, so that obviously qualifying for next season's Champions League through the league position becomes absolutely paramount for you now. So, but you have a real chance with 2 matches, the Palace and Wolves game, win both of those, and you're right back in the hunt for 4th place, aren't you? Before the likes of Newcastle even play a game. Big games.
Yeah, so these are facts on the table, but we should not involve the Wolves game already, and we should not consider the 3 points already in our pocket or whatever. It's not like this. It's a really tough game. So Crystal Palace has, result-wise, not a perfect spell as well. So since the World Cup, but performance-wise, it looks much better. So we had a really deep look into what they did. And it's a really talented team, a really well set up team, probably in a 4-2-3-1. A lot of technique on the pitch, speed on the pitch, mixed with experience, but change. So I really respect a lot what Palace is doing for years, and how they bring all these offensive players, especially, together and keep them in the club for that long and stuff like this. It's really good. So yes, will be a tough one, but yes, of course, for us, all the games from now on are Champions League qualifiers. That's how it is, and nobody knows if we can do it, because not only in our hands, but getting 3 points would bring us in the right direction, and that's obviously something we want to do, but we know it's difficult.
I know you just said earlier there that you don't listen to all the noise that's made after these sort of defeats from the likes of us in the media. I know it's difficult to shut that out as well.
It's not.
A lot of people calling for, change on the back of a defeat in terms of the team lineup, etc. Are you tempted to shake things up after a defeat and bring the likes of Jota, Firmino, who are probably ready to start again now? And what about Ibrahima Konate? Is he anywhere near playing?
It was near, but had 2 sessions with us after a long injury. So that makes now we can see when the boys come on now that they are not at their best anymore. But they need the minutes, and everything will get better. But that's exactly the situation we have. So it's we are not sure if all the boys could even play again after Madrid because of some knocks here and there. So we are really not 100% clear. So then we have to make changes, and we want to make, and we will make changes anyway. But it's not that you come back after a long injury and just it's clicking again. So we have the situation now with Bobby and Diogo. You can see it with Virgil as well. Everybody expects Virgil always like a robot pretty much. Now he's he played the most games last year, played the World Cup every game pretty much, at least for his country. Came back from first, second, played for us, got injured, comes back, plays. So that's the situation. That's not perfect, but it's what we have to go through. So that's why I don't say everything what people say around us is wrong. Not at all, but most of the things are not right as well. So that's how it is. But we know that we have to improve. We know that we have to change things, and we will. We cannot do that now, but it's already clear that we have to do something in the summer. That's clear. But for now, we just have to go through this and fight back. And I saw again you can lose against Real Madrid, but I don't think a lot of teams can cause them the problems we caused them in the first 20, 25 minutes. So that's a sign of quality as well. So I don't always interested in it because it was only 20 minutes and then you lose a game. But it's still very important for us that I could see that. That's why I was not in a overly bad mood afterwards, because yes, if you make the mistakes we made, then it's really difficult or impossible to get anything about it. But there was some good stuff which I didn't see for a long time, and I was really happy about that. And so now let's try to keep that in our patterns and in our game, and then we will see.
Virgil did say he's not a robot, by the way.
No, he is not.
He did after the game, yeah.
Ah, okay, yeah, because it's. I didn't read that or listen to him, but it's true. He is not. I knew that before, by the way.
7 points off the top 4, but with games in hand. Is that now the absolute main target, the main focus for the rest of this campaign?
Would you have any other for us available? Yes. European football. So, okay, when it's Liverpool and we play now all the time Champions League, nobody will ask me, well, you can make the Conference League or the European League, stuff like this. European football, yes, and Champions League. We said it 500 million times, and rightly so for the club. It's incredibly important that we qualify for it. We are all, I'm not sure, but some people are for sure a bit spoiled because that was in a very difficult league. We did it quite early in the last few years, that we were always qualified for the Champions League, apart from 2 years ago, I think. And so this year it will be a later decision, definitely, if we can do it. But we need points for that. We don't have to talk about it. The only way to get there is to gain more, to win more points than our opponents, because at the moment they all have more points than us, most of them. And so we have to make sure that we really keep going. Yes, and that's why we all have to make sure that this highlight game against Real Madrid, everybody was positive, winning 2 games before, and now maybe in the right moment. Then 20 minutes, everybody thought, okay, yeah, it was the right moment, and it was the wrong moment after that. So we cannot always go like this through a season. We need to find some consistency in the way we play. It's not all, emotions are very important, but it cannot be all about emotions. It's all about, today I feel great, tomorrow I don't feel that well, and stuff like this. We have just to start believing 100% in ourselves again, and really bring our quality on the pitch. And that's now the thing for tomorrow. We have to be tomorrow an incredible, uncomfortable opponent to play for Crystal Palace. That's all. And we don't have to think too much about, if at all, about Champions League or whatever. It's about 3 points. That's our Champions League tomorrow and nothing else.
Sellers Park on a Saturday night will be a raucous place to go. We've got a very good record there. Do you enjoy going there?
I can't say enjoy it. I like the. I heard now that we have a good record there, but if you would have asked me, I would have said, wow, incredible, difficult games, always really tough. Yes, great atmosphere. I actually hope it's on Saturday night in London people go out and don't go in the stadium, to be honest, but maybe they will first go in the stadium. No, yeah, it's a great place to play football. I really respect a lot what they are doing, because it's. I think it's really tough in London between all these massive clubs, and then finding a way. Over the years I learned that their youth department, at least 100%, used to be outstanding. I don't know exactly how it is now, but there's some really interesting young players. We had some here who came through the academy. So yes, really cool club in a really cool stadium. Yeah, I only remember super difficult games.
Carlos.
Hi, Jurgen. Your last 6 goals have come for you from 3, 2 each. How excited are you to see them developing their partnership together? It must be hard for Jota and Firmino to get into the side where they're playing so well.
It's not hard. We have too many games to make it hard to come into games. We have play now. We cannot play all the time with exactly the same. There were times, obviously, when Sadio and Mo were very young, and Bobby, whatever they did, maybe they played a lot of games, but even then we needed other guys. So yes, it's good. I said it. The goals against Newcastle, especially, were real team goals. Were real playing together. That was helpful, but. We have to make changes. We cannot change. We cannot change that, and but each minute they can play together, all the boys, is obviously very helpful because that improves the understanding, and you could see that with the goals.
And you mentioned after the game the other night that you need to make sure that game doesn't damage confidence. How do you go about building that confidence? Is it hard when confidence isn't like 100%? Is it difficult to build a player?
Yeah. So everything what happens in life has influence on confidence. Recently I scratched my car. So since then I drive through around corners like this. So and I drive 37 years. I have the license, I think, and I had never a real accident. But it's like everything has influence on confidence. But then after a few miles you realize, oh, I was just unlucky. So maybe I can just drive normal again. So, yeah, but it's about nobody gives you confidence. You have to let it happen. So I can tell you whatever I want. If you think, yeah, I'm rubbish anyway, so I cannot change that now in 5 minutes. So it's just about, but there are a lot of reasons. That's loads of reasons why the boys should be confident. And I saw a lot of these reasons in the last game. So if you can cut out the disappointment for the whole world, especially the Liverpool world, and the 5 goals and all these kind of things, and that people say we are not good enough anymore and stuff like this. We can cut that out. Then you have the right to focus on the good things as well, and then let's go from there. So there's a chance, but in the end, it's always a challenge, and it will never be easy. Though it's not now. We are not in a still not. How I said, a lot of good things, but not stable yet. And we have to work on that stability. We have to. Because the good things are really good and will be good forever. But then we have to make sure that we don't suffer from the few things that don't work out that well.
Juliet.
Yeah, just picking up really on that, because you said you were in an overly bad mood. So I just wondered you've spoken about emotion a lot today and in other press conferences as well, what that emotion of the players were then. And on Tuesday night, was it anger into frustration or just frustration? And how do you, when you say you talk about the confidence, it's not easy to do. So I just wondered what that mood was like straight after that.
Did you ever meet a person who can tell you about the mood exactly of another group? So I see the players and I tell them how I feel, but I don't ask them now individually, and you. So that's how it is. That's why I say, when things go well, it's really about the players. I mean that. If it's not going well, it's about me. So my job is to make sure that they listen to me and believe when I tell them this was good and that was good. And that was always the case so far. So I try to help the players with all I can, but I cannot switch social media off for them. So and these and cannot switch off in general media. So like don't have a look at it and stuff like this. And if you have a look at it, don't believe what they say, believe what I say. These kind of things. So, but they are not. Well, at least not all of them are kids anymore. So it's just they know how to deal with this thing. It's not the first setback we got in the whole time. Yes, this year it feels like there are a few too many. Absolutely. So and we go to Madrid and we try to win the game. There's no doubt about that, but then we will see what that will lead to. But that's only in a few weeks. Now we have to make sure that we, in a tricky Premier League season, that we get this turnaround in general. That we get really around the corner and then can go from there. That we have to chase everybody. We have to chase the whole league. That's how it is. Everybody's run, but needs to feel and smell our breath. So because it's really important that we get that back, that edge back, and we had that in the 2 games, obviously. And now different competition. Yes, when you win, you want to build on the result. When you lose, you have to get rid of it. That's how it is. When I mention that, we always, oh my God, but the Champions League was not that. Yeah, because the opponent was really good. I don't know a lot of teams who would have used our mistakes, the few mistakes we made, in a manner Real Madrid did, or Vinicius Junior did, or Karim Benzema did, and that's why we don't play them every time. So we play now against Crystal Palace, and we respect them a lot, but we have to cause them problems, at least as many as they can cause us.
Carl.
I hate to throw this forward as I'm doing, but earlier you said it's clear you have to do something in the summer. I'm just wondering.
What?
Well, you tell me. I'm assuming you're referring to transfers, and you say when you're referring to the summer, I'm assuming you're talking about.
What is it? What would be the other
So,
scenario?
so I'm wondering how much has this season affected or changed the long-term planning, or because it was a pretty big summer, because there's actually very that contract.
No, not so much. It's not so much. We are all influenced by the things that happened recently. That's of course okay, but we are not that dumb. It's not like, oh, today was not good and now we have to change. So this is clear. It was always clear. This team has a wonderful history, and most of them and stuff like this. And it's always clear when the way this club is led by not. What is that? Splashing the money or whatever. Just have a look if it works out or not. Our transfers always have to be on point, so that makes it really tricky. We cannot make four transfers before we know who will leave the club and stuff like this. So these kind of things. And last year, I said it now. I don't know how often I can say it. I knew it will be tricky, and that was one of the main reasons why I signed a new contract, to make sure. Okay, come on, people are not on top of all that, have to discuss. Yeah, and then he leaves next year, and not because I'm that great, just because imagine the same situation with another coach. So everybody would have said, bring Klopp back. And it's good, we don't have that. Some of them want me out, it's fine. I can understand that as well. But it's not about that. It's about a club and a stability and what we can get in. So last year now was not a season for a big change. There was no doubt. We played until the last moment. And if you want to change, again, this club, we cannot just bring in new players and realize then later, oh, nobody wants to leave. It doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. So that's why it's not possible. Was not possible to start it early, because we had final after final after final, played the season until last match, played the Champions League final, and these. Then we have a short break, and then we have a lot of injuries, and then the World Cup. So boom. It's like on all the problems we knew we will have, this came on top. So, and now we are in it. And I know it's too long, and it's for me too long, because I have to face always you in this press conference. Believe me, I don't like to talk about it all the time, but I have to think it all the time. But that's not as bad as to talk about it, to be honest, because I don't have to read it the next day, pretty much, what I think. And so that's the situation. I cannot change it. Now that the people are not happy, we try to fight through and make the best out of this season. That's the idea. And stay in that all the period as good as a person as you can. So as I said, the better you behave in a moment like this, the better the times will be after it. And the more useful the bad times are, because they have to be useful. Otherwise they're completely useless. Imagine that in all our lives, that we wouldn't have learned from our failures, and we wouldn't have learned from the moments when things didn't go well. So we would not be the same people. So we have to learn from this as well, and we will. But now we are in this heated atmosphere where we lose a game, everybody out, we win a game, oh, give him a new contract, and all these kind of things. And you think, oh, well, that's all be quick. So I'm too old for that. So we have to make our own plans, and that's what we do. But based on the way this club is led. So it's obviously different to other clubs. So that's how it is. But it worked out so far, and we have to see if it will work still, or if we have to adapt. Let me say it like that. But that's something for us in the offices when we are not on the training pitch, and for us, for my conversation with the owners and all these kind of things. But that's it. Nothing else. Just work. Lesser celebration.
Thanks, your last one before the...
When you say adapt, what do you mean by that? In terms of adapt your approach? When you speak to the owners, what did you mean by that?
I don't want to specify that, or just to adapt, if necessary. It's much better if I say something. Now you can speculate. It's much better.
Move on to the